Paul Jones' Army was a professional wrestling heel stable in the NWA's Jim Crockett Promotions in the mid-1980s, led by manager Paul Jones. The group's primary storyline was against the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, in a long-running storyline between Jones and Valiant. History. Paul Jones formed Paul Jones' Army in the early 1980s in Jim Crockett Promotions to help him battle the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, and his friends Manny Fernandez, Wahoo McDaniel, Pez Whatley, and Hector Guerrero. January 1984. Valiant was attacked by Paul Jones and the Assassins. They tied him to the wrestling ring ropes so that Jones could cut his beard off. This led to a grudge match with hyped Super Show called Boogie Man Jam 84 in Greensboro, North Carolina. For this match, Dusty Rhodes in Valiant's corner was tied by a rope to Paul Jones. Valiant defeated Assassin 2, who was unmasked and revealed as Hercules Hernandez. Due to the beard-cutting attack, he feuded heavily with Paul Jones and his army of wrestlers from 1984 through to late 1986. This army of wrestlers included the Barbarian, Baron von Raschke, Tejo Khan, and the Assassins. During this three-year feud, Valiant received help from Hector Guerrero and Raging Bull Manny Fernandez. Although Jimmy Valiant would lose a loser leaves town Tuxedo Street fight to Paul Jones at Starrcade 1984 in Greensboro, North Carolina, the feud with Paul Jones' stable continued, which would come to include Abdullah the Butcher. In 1985, Valiant and Raging Bull Manny Fernandez formed a team called B Connection, Boogie Woogie, and Bull. In the spring of 1986, Pez Whatley turned on Valiant, cutting off his ponytail, later joining Jones' Army as Shaska Whatley. During the Great American Bash 1986 summer shows, Paul Jones adopted a military-style look in his long feud with Valiant and labeled his stable of wrestlers the Army. Valiant would beat Shaska Whatley in a hair versus hair match, but with outside interference lost a hair versus hair match to Paul Jones only weeks later. In the fall of 1986, the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, Valiant's best friend, accepted Jones' money and turned on Valiant, starting a feud between the two. Paul Jones at this point shortened his army to his newly acquired tag team of Raging Bull and Rick Rude. The war between Valiant and Paul Jones climaxed at Starrcade 1986 with Valiant putting up the hair of Big Mama against the hair of Paul Jones in a no-DQ match which Valiant won, while the Raging Bull was placed in a cage above the ring. Championships and accomplishments. Jim Crockett Promotions, NWA World Tag Team Championship. One time, Manny Fernandez and Rick Rude